Hey everybody, this is Dave Andit with Little Things from the Dashboard. Yeah. One of the things I want to talk about today is something I think a lot of us need to really take a deep look at and really start to think about the promises that you make. Ask yourself and be real honest. Be real honest with yourself. What is one of the worst promises you have broken? And why? Why did you break that promise? And who was it with? Is there really any good excuse for breaking a promise that you've made? And as you think about this, there's something else I want you to think about. If you make a promise and you break that promise, what have you done? You've lost credibility. Your word is not good anymore. You lose face with the person that you made that promise to. And once you lose respect and your word is not good, it can take a lifetime to try to earn that back. So have you thought about it? Have you thought about who is that person that you broke a promise to? And why did you break that promise? And what impact did that promise have? I want you to think about that for a little bit. And as you think about that, I also want you to think about some of the most important conversations you'll ever have in your entire life. Ever. Do you know who that's with? Do you know who the most important conversation you'll ever have in your life is with? It's with you. It's with yourself. Because if you cannot dig down deep and have an honest conversation with yourself and allow all of those things to come out and look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself and have that conversation, then you can't have an honest conversation with anybody. By now, you've probably picked up on where I'm going here. By now, you've probably realized that the most important promise you have ever broken is not to your boss, is not to your spouse, is not to your children, is not to a family member, it's not to anybody. The greatest promise you ever broke was a promise that you made to yourself. And why did you do that? Why did you break that promise to you? How many of you at the new year were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start doing this. I'm making a commitment. I'm making a resolution. Whatever word you want to put on it. It was either a promise you kept to yourself or you lied to yourself. So which one was it? And I'm guessing a lot of you, as well as myself, we're all guilty. We're all guilty as charged. We have broken promises to ourselves over and over and over again. And we make up all these grandiose excuses for doing it. And not a one of them is any damn good. Not a one of those excuses is good enough to justify breaking a promise that you've made to yourself. See, it's not only breaking that promise to yourself that is so bad. But when you break that promise to yourself, you have not only let yourself down, but you've let down everybody that was involved in that promise. Let me explain a little bit. So the new year comes around, whatever. A new month, a new day, a new week, a new hour, I don't care what it is. Okay? You say to yourself, I am going to start getting healthy. I am going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start eating better. Or I'm going to dedicate myself more to my business, or I'm going to dedicate myself more to work, or I'm going to dedicate more free time to my wife and my children and my husband and my children, or whatever it is that you've dedicated yourself to or made a commitment and a promise to yourself, and you don't keep that promise, now you've affected everybody involved. See, when you break a promise to yourself, you're not just affecting yourself. What you're doing, honestly, is saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not important enough, I don't deserve it, I shouldn't have it, I don't have the respect for myself to uphold a commitment and a promise that I made to myself. And here's the bad part about that. When you say that and you admit that, not just attach that to everybody else. Because when you broke that promise to yourself about being healthy, which means a better life for your spouse, your family, whatever it might be, when you made a commitment and a promise to work harder at your business, to create a better income, that gave you a better lifestyle. That was going to give you, the goals that you've been trying to reach. It's so easy to make these promises. But realistically, how many of you really keep any of your damn promises? Seriously. Everybody has these grandiose ideas that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, save money, I'm going to set this aside, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. For how long? Until it gets tough. That's how long. Because if everybody kept those promises when it got really, really tough, you'd be part of the 1% in this world. And I'm not saying you're not, because I don't know. But if you're not, you know why. Nobody made you break those promises. Nobody made you, first off, nobody made you make that promise to yourself. That was you. And if you are not the most important person in your life, then you can't be good for anybody. If you cannot commit to yourself to be better today than you were yesterday or the day before, whatever, how can you expect to be successful and give your family or yourself the lifestyle and the success that you want? You can't. So who's holding you accountable? You can listen to every rah-rah speech out there. You can read every book. You can go to seminars. You can have a life coach. You can have all of this stuff. But until you act on it and truly implement it, all it is a bunch of noise. All it is a bunch of noise. And if you can't make that promise to yourself, whatever it might be, and keep that promise, there's only one person that can hold you accountable for it. And that's the one looking back at you. You are accountable for you. You are the one that said it was okay to break that promise. Or you are the one that said, I don't give a darn what happens. I will not break this promise to myself. I will move forward. I will succeed. I will do whatever it takes. Do you have that will in you? Do you have that in you to do whatever it takes to accomplish the promise, the goals, and the commitments that you've set before yourself? Think about it. You're worth it, and everybody around you will benefit from your greatness. This is Dave Andrew with Little Things from the Dashboard. God bless.